Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We are all George. So today, things are looking splendid once again. Things are rallying up. Bitcoin, it's around 39,000. It's clawing back to 40,000. And altcoins, again, are having a pretty good day. So today, I want to talk about 3 altcoins that I believe are must-haves for June because there's a lot of things coming up. I think big news that people may have missed. So I'm going to discuss, and they are Cardano, Theta, and Cosmos. And I'm going to tell you why they are must-haves for June. So thanks for tuning in. As always, smash the like, subscribe to the channel. 2 streams every day, 11:30 and 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure you hit that notification bell and follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. All right, let's do this, guys. Lively crowd today. A lot of excitement. Not so much AMC frenzy today because AMC today is not doing that well, but it could come up. It could come up. But yeah, let's focus on Bitcoin and crypto today. So right now, Bitcoin is right under $39,000. It was a little bit higher, but you can see Bitcoin has just been crawling and clawing its way up. Slowly but surely, right? All this FUD over here, right? Starting to dissipate a little bit. People are putting their money back into crypto. Bitcoin is coming up, despite the fact that I know volume is low. People, all the naysayers, and everyone just wants to always find something to nitpick. You know, we were like, yeah, look at the volume. It's so low. It's going to go down. I mean, come on. Are you saying that because you want the market to drop? Or are you just fearful yourself, right? This reminds me a lot. I was just thinking back, when was the last time Bitcoin kind of capitulated, like recently? Well, I was thinking we go back here, right? Back in March of 2021, you go to the 4-hour, and then, things look very, oops, I didn't go back. Here we go. And then you zoom in a little bit here. And then I realized it's kind of the same. So back in March of 2020, of course, we had that big capitulation where Bitcoin fell from about 9,000 all the way to about 3,800. Okay, and then it retested somewhat, again, kind of like recently, right? We had 30,000 and 31,000, but it retested around 4,300, 4,400. And then it climbed up, and then it went on this very, very, very long period where it was just subtle movements. You could see that there was still a lot of up and downs, right? All this is like 20, 30% dips. But slowly and surely, Bitcoin started coming back up. And the reason why is because, again, just like right now, it's not nearly as bad as now. I mean, now is not nearly as bad as before, but it's kind of the same scenario because when you have capitulation, you have all these retail investors that just said, forget it, I'm out, right? So it took a long time for Bitcoin to regain its strength. But you could see that over a course of a month, this is 1 month right here, and then you have another month where it seems like it has not moved at all. Look at it. This actually, if you look at it from the peak, it actually went down a little bit. But it did claw all the way back to the 9,000s. And you know what? This was a very, very long time until it decided to break out, and then it just didn't stop, right? So right now we're seeing kind of like a lesser version of that, in my opinion. It's just because you have a whole lot of people that came into the market, got really fearful, basically, panic sold and left. But honestly, right now at 38,000, 39,000 is very different than when we were at 3,000 or 4,000, right? So I realized that, but it's kind of the same. Like right now, Bitcoin is moving up and down, overall going sideways. But it's slowly and surely trying to break up, right? And when it does, I think we're just going to continue on and get back to the 50s and 60s and keep going, right? So yes, don't. Bottom line is don't let the fear, don't let the FUD dictate your actions, right? There's always going to be FUD. There's always going to be dips. There's always going to be drops. But look at what has happened over the last few years, or not even the few years. Look at what has happened the last 12 years, 11 years, 10 years, 9 years, 8 years. doesn't matter how far or how deep Bitcoin goes, it always comes up and it always comes back stronger. So right now, still pretty good buying opportunity. I've been saying that. I always say that. When we were at 10,000, we were at 6,000, we're at 20,000, 30,000, 40, 50, whatever. I think it's a good buying opportunity because if you look at where it's going to be in 3, 5, 10 years, this is going to be an absolutely bargain, right? And if you look at short term versus where Bitcoin was just a few weeks ago at 60,000, then yeah, it's definitely a bargain, right? So yeah, I think Bitcoin is doing its thing, slowly coming back up. Obviously, a lot of you guys want to know all this TA aspects. I drew so many lines here. I don't even know what's going on, but the next one would be about 41,000. Then there's a 42, 43. These are all previous supports turn resistance now that Bitcoin needs to break. And after that, 45, 49, then 53, and it just keeps going and going and going and going, right? Now, besides that, I want to show you guys real quick, before I talk about these 3 must-have altcoins, I just want to show you guys this really quick, and that is JPMorgan. You know how JPMorgan, I just showed you a FUD article from them, I think yesterday or the day before, about how they were claiming that institutions are no longer buying Bitcoin, right? So basically a big FUD article telling people to basically sell, at least retail people to sell. So guess what? It was picked up today that they're hiring a new VP of merchant services and payment partnerships. And what do you know, if you look in here, one of the primary things they have to worry about right here is cryptocurrencies. Yes. Create, gain early senior leadership support, and execute strategy for prioritizing and approaching and signing highest impact third-party relationships to enable product strategy surrounding new payment methods. Buy now, pay later, pay with points, cryptocurrency. So again, just like Apple, they try to put all this, but you can't really describe crypto in any other way. So they just like insert it in real quick, among other things. So you know a big part of this job is to integrate cryptocurrencies into payment services that JPMorgan will be using in the future. So again, they might be telling you one thing, that hey, no one really wants Bitcoin or crypto anymore, right? Yet on the other hand, they're coming out with the Bitcoin fund and they're building out a payment system that is utilizing cryptocurrency. So again, you got to watch out. You got to watch out what the media covers, right? Maybe it's not the media themselves. Maybe they get tricked or they get told to write whatever. But every other day, it seems like, you know, there's a negative piece and then a positive piece and then a negative piece and a positive piece. You don't really know who to believe, right? But pay attention. Pay attention to the bigger picture. Who's actually creating these services and jobs and who's accumulating behind the scenes. And those are the ones we need to mimic or imitate. Okay, so with that out of the way, that's really the only piece of news I want to cover. So let's jump into the 3 crypto that I think are must-holds for July or June. And they're must-hold, really. I mean, these 3 I've covered many times before, but there's a few big things that has happened or is happening that I think is very significant. Overall, today's market cap, again, went up about 3%, 1.75 trillion. That's pretty good. And BTC dominance is still low and still going down, which means, again, retail investors, their confidence is slowly coming back and putting their money into altcoins again. So pretty positive so far. Now, number 1, let's just start with the biggest out of the 3. That has to be Cardano. Coming back to $1.84, is inching back to $2, which is amazing. Because if you go back 3 months, Cardano was still like below $1. Okay, so the fact that we had this dip, we had this capitulation period, and Cardano is still this strong and clawing back and just keeps going, shows you how really strong they are right now. How many people really believe in Ada and Charles and the whole project. So why I think it's a great pickup, not only for June, but going forward. Let's talk about the biggest thing I love about Cardano is the fact that 71%, over 71% of the total supply is locked in a pool, in a Cardano pool that's powering the network. Over 71%. That's amazing. That's amazing. There's 2,562 pools total, and you have 42.47 billion that's locked in right now. That means these guys, these are the faithful guys. They're going to hold on forever, and they don't care if Cardano goes down or up 20 or 30%. They're just staking, and they don't care, right? This shows you the loyal following that Cardano has. This has to be the biggest thing. I can't get over the fact that you have a project that has over 71% staked in. I don't know of any other project that's anywhere close to this. If you guys are aware of, let me know, but I don't know of any other project that's anywhere close to this. All right, so that's number one. But besides that, there's other things that's really nice. The Alonzo testnet, that was deployed a few days ago. So this will be a development that's going to be like being continuously updated, I guess, within the next few months. So Alonzo testnet, or Alonzo hard fork for the testnet, is basically Cardano introducing smart contracts, something that a lot of people have been waiting for, and a lot of critics have been laughing at Cardano, saying you're a vaporware, you don't even have a smart contracts. Well, it's coming. So the very first step is deploying it in their testnet, and they have 3 phases right now. Is blue phase, and I believe the next one will be red and then white. But right now it's just a small group of people and partners and pioneers. According to them, they're testing it. Pretty soon they will expand this out, right, where they're going to get more people to come in and test it and so forth. So when it's all said and done, this will probably be done over the next month or two in terms of testing out fully smart contracts. And then it's anticipated that in August, this will go live on the mainnet. So that's not too long. That's only 2 months. So this is going very, very fast. So there could be a lot of things that come out within this month. Also, I missed this, and a lot of people talked about this yesterday, and that is their very first cross-chain bridge with Nervos was launched yesterday. So Cardano, there's a lot of projects. There's a lot of projects that's working on a cross bridge right now, or just working on getting themselves set up on Cardano. And the very first bridge is with Nervos. Nervos has their own blockchain. So this is, I mean, it's not as revolutionary I think people claim to be. This is not a cross-chain bridge, say, to multiple chains. It's just with the Nervos network, which is still a great start. Nervos has their own token, their own ecosystem. They have their DeFi stuff. So with this, there could be now wrapped tokens from Nervos and wrapped Cardano ADA to Nervos. So you could have wrapped tokens or synthetic tokens now. And, you know, they're going to work together and build out DeFi and so forth. So this also happened yesterday, which is, it's still nice. Not the biggest thing, but it's nice. And there's a lot of other dApps that's coming on board, like the cross-chain bridge that I think most people are looking at, including myself. I think it's Ergo. Ergo is one that Charles loves, and they are working on a cross-chain bridge with their Oracle system to basically talk to every other popular chain out there, including Neo, Ethereum, and Cosmos, and Solana. I mean, everything. It's really encompassing. But yeah, there's a lot of things coming. So number one is Cardano. I think a lot of you guys already know that. Someone mentioned about Cosmos having 71% stake. I did not see that statistic anywhere, but I'll have to take a look at it. But I'm going to talk about Cosmos in a little bit. So number one is Cardano. You know what? Maybe this weekend it's going to climb right back up above $2. Right? Cardano is really strong right now. Really strong. All right, number two is Theta. Theta is also clawing back, trying to become a big cap again. They've fallen. They were like 12 or 13 billion before. Now they're at 9 billion. But still, I showcased this yesterday when I was discussing AMC gains versus some of these altcoin gains. Theta went on like a 15,000% run from its low of last year. Like 15,000%. It is insane. And that's because people are just starting to realize that this is, in terms of decentralized streaming or decentralized streaming platform, they are the biggest. By far. It's not even close. And they're coming up in a big way. And I think a lot of people didn't remember that they were trying to come out their mainnet 3.0. Oh, by the way, before I get to that, keep this in mind. The circulating supply of Theta is 100% deployed. There is no more. And everything that's out there is already released. There's none waiting to be released. So that is actually very, very encouraging too, because it's basically deflationary. You have a lot of people that's staking and there's no more that's going to be released. All right, but besides that, I think a lot of people missed out on the fact that Theta 3.0 is going to come out end of June. End of June. This was postponed from April or March. And there's a lot of things coming. There's Elite Edge nodes, which now allows you to stake T-Fuel, and you get priority access by doing so. So now it makes not only Theta the only token that you can stake. You could stake T-Fuel and actually gain rewards from doing so. So that's a big thing. They're also just revamping the network overall, making things smoother and better. So that's going to be a big deal for them. And also they're really, really ramping up their NFT marketplace. They wanted, one of the reasons why they delayed the mainnet is because they want to concentrate on the marketplace. So recently they partnered up with World Poker Tour to come out their own exclusive NFTs, but I know that they're really, really, really working on building out this NFT marketplace. They already have some NFTs, but they're trying to become a powerhouse with that too. So that is also very, very big. That's coming along. I don't know if that marketplace is out already or they're still deploying, they're waiting for it, but it is something that they have been hyping up, and I think they're collaborating with other influencers and stuff to get their own NFTs too. Maybe I'll get one. Maybe I'll start streaming on there too. I don't know. And of course, they have some big players that are powering their enterprise validator nodes, including recently, they just got the Hollywood powerhouse CAA, which I was not familiar with, but a creative artist agency represents some of the biggest people of Hollywood, like big, like Tom Cruise big and Oprah big, and they are now running an enterprise validator node. So enterprise, there's like 3 layers to Theta's network. The biggest is the enterprise one, where they only allow like the huge big players to participate. I'm talking about like Google and Sony and now CAA and several others. So these are the guys that Theta are basically saying, hey, you know what? Run a validator node, right? And then start testing out the network and eventually get your programs onto the Theta network. That's what they're doing. And right now, it's working. It's working. So Theta is also another one. I don't hear a lot of people talk about Theta, but honestly, they are killing it. They are killing it. Their advisory team is fantastic. Their team is fantastic. And they have so much already. They have Theta.tv, which is a streaming platform that is already used. So don't sleep on Theta. They have some big stuff, especially with their mainnet coming out in June 30th. That could be a huge thing for them. A huge thing. All right. Now, what did I miss here? Before I miss out these super chat, let me look at Adam has 71% stake. I have to check that. Someone, what else is there? A3C Modern Consulting, please stake Cardano with me. So I guess you run a pool. Okay, people see that. Refinable will be marketplace for NFTs. Okay. Yes, I do know that. Is Neo ever going to be the monster it's supposed to be? It could. It is coming up. It's doing pretty well. Just not. I don't believe at previous highs, but it is coming up. I think give it a time. Give it time. All right. Next up is Cosmos. Cosmos, I've always said, is very undervalued. Their ecosystem is so enormous. So enormous. You can go to their website, go in apps and services. I mean, just look at this. These are all the projects that are within the Cosmos ecosystem. It's either built with the Cosmos SDK or they're integrated into Cosmos. I mean, this list is endless. It's endless. I mean, just keep looking at it. There's so much. Some of the biggest projects out there, like Terra and Binance Smart Chain, they're built with Cosmos. They're in the ecosystem, right? I mean, there's just so much going on in here. I don't think people realize it. The problem is most of these projects don't advertise that they're in the Cosmos ecosystem. I don't know why. It's like They just want to be like their own. You know, Kava used to be one of my sponsors. They're in there. Injective Protocol is in there. I mean, there's a lot of things coming. But the two things that are really, really, really exciting that will tie all these projects together, okay, is the Gravity DEX and the Gravity Bridge. These are two things that they have been working on. Actually, Gravity Bridge is someone else that's working on it, but very close ties. But the Gravity DEX, this is a big, big thing. Big thing. I did not pick up on this until recently. Someone brought this up. I looked into it. This is coming at the end of June. End of June. And what the Gravity DEX is exactly what it sounds like. It's a DEX for swapping. However, because of IBC, inter-blockchain communications among Cosmos ecosystem, all these dApps with their tokens, every single one will be able to swap flawlessly on this DEX. There's no worries about needing cross-chain bridges or anything else. All these automatically will be able to swap with each other within the DEX if they choose to do so. I mean, they have to choose. You can't just force them to do so. But, I mean, that's a big thing. Looking at how big the ecosystem already is, right? All these tokens will be able to trade on the Gravity DEX, which they tested. They actually had like a test net. It was a competition. They just wanted people to test it out. I think they said they had about 600 million in volume. They had a ton of people testing out the network or the DEX, and it was very successful. And they're waiting to launch this, I think, end of June. I think I read it was like June 30th, or maybe it was like July 1st or something. Really, really soon. So this could really jumpstart Cosmos because they've been so stagnant for a while. And honestly, they should be much higher than where they are. They have so much traction. And not only that, what's coming on the heels of this is the Gravity Bridge, which will bridge Cosmos ecosystem to Ethereum, which means that this Gravity DEX will now be able to pull in ERC20 tokens and vice versa. This bridges both ways. So now you could have, say, Uniswap on Ethereum, also have Cosmos tokens, basically. Not only Atom tokens, but every single dApp within the Cosmos ecosystem, the tokens could be now placed on Uniswap, and vice versa. And everything that's on Uniswap or SushiSwap can now be brought over to the Gravity DEX as well. I mean, this is so encompassing. It's mind-boggling. So once they have that Gravity Bridge and the Gravity DEX up, Cosmos, I think, will be a tremendous, a huge powerhouse. And let's not forget, I don't know the plans with Binance Smart Chain. Binance Smart Chain and everything that's on there, like Pancake Swap, Venus, and Pancake Bunny, and Bakery Swap, and anything else on there, right? They're all running on Binance Smart Chain. And Binance Smart Chain is part of the Cosmos ecosystem. So potentially, you could have this Gravity DEX pull in all of those tokens as well. You can pull in all those tokens and make them swappable on this DEX, along with all the other tokens that's within the Cosmos ecosystem. So it's just really mind-boggling. I mean, you're going to have so many tokens in here. I don't even know what's going on afterwards. So that is also coming. So that's why I'm very bullish on Cosmos as well. Until this, I was just thinking, why are they not moving? Well, now I think they're really going to start moving once they start having their own DeFi projects. So very, very ambitious. Very ambitious, and I'm looking forward to it. All right, so that's it. So you have Cardano, okay, which is still doing very, very, very well. Such loyal followers. You have Theta that is coming up, 9 billion now. That's doing very well. That will continue to do well, I think. And Cosmos, which is the cheapest of the three, only at 3.5 billion. I think they're absolutely steal at this point. So these three are great pickups for June. Not only in June, but just long-term holds. I think these are, you can't lose with these. You really can't lose in there. And someone mentioned now Cosmos staking is also 71%, which I don't have in front of me, but that's also pretty positive too. All right, that's pretty much it. Avalanche, someone asked about Avalanche. I don't really have an opinion about Avalanche. I think they're incomplete right now. Stu, okay, thank you. And then Swissborg has 70% locked in. Okay, 70%. Not as high as 71. though. Not as high as 71. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. Overall, market cap still doing well. Before I get into a Q&A, I have unboxing, which I did last night, but I don't think a whole lot of people watched it. So, here we go. Unboxing the world's first, if I can get this open, the world's first Bitcoin rewards credit card from Blockfi. This is cool. If you get it, this is what it looks like. And you can just slide this in and out. Really nice. Really smooth, too. So the world's first Bitcoin rewards credit card is almost here. It's almost here. You could join the wait list, which is, from what I'm hearing, like a really long wait list, but they will be approving people starting from next month, I'm told. And what's awesome is they got rid of the annual fees. Before, I think that was the thing that was holding most people back. That is no longer the case. There's no annual fees, so if nothing else, just get one because it really doesn't harm you. But the thing is, if you love Bitcoin and crypto, why would you not use this? Everyone has a credit card, right? And you're earning 1.5% back in Bitcoin on every purchase, introductory rate of 3.5% back in the first 3 months. And if you happen to be a whale and you spend over $50,000 on your credit card per year, the cash back goes to 2%. 2% back in Bitcoin. Think about it. All those rewards that you get back in Bitcoin, if you hold it there, and you hold it for 3, 5, 10 years, that could really add up. That could really, really, really add up. So this is something that a lot of people are excited about. I'm excited about it. If you want to sign up, you want to join the wait list, you use my link in the description of this video and in the comments. So join the wait list and get approved and start earning Bitcoin with your credit card. All right, so that's it. That's it. All right, let's do some Q&A. You forgot, Jesus says, you forgot XRP, a real bargain. I don't know if it's a real bargain, but it is a bargain. I'll say that. I don't like it more than those 3 I talked about. That's for sure. Please advise whether it's still worth holding after the 4-year cycle ended or it's best to tether. Okay, here's the thing. And the reality is, if you can time it, if you know exactly when top is, right, then obviously you want to take profits. But no one could really do that. No one knows exactly the point where that is the top. So the best strategy is, as we continue upwards towards the latter half of this year, right? I think profit taking becomes more important. Take some off the table, take some off the table, take some off the table, right? And then when that top does come, if it comes, right? Then whatever you have, you can ride it out. I mean, obviously, if you could time it so that you could buy much lower, it's better, right? But no one really knows. So I think profit taking will be a big part as we continue higher. Now, with that said, I think that we could have a chance where we don't have a blow off top where the market goes down 85, 86% like before. Maybe we have a similar thing where our blow off top is like going down 50%. If we end up at 200,000, we go back down to 100,000. That's fantastic. That's still fantastic, right? So it really depends. I mean, we got so many banks and institutions and public trade companies that's buying Bitcoin. Who knows? This cycle may never really end or may not act like previous cycles. Thoughts on Chai? Why is it so high? I mean, it's really hyped up right now. You know, they're getting all the media attention created by the guy who started BitTorrent. You know, their mining is utilizing hard drive space. I'm hearing there's hard drive storage problems because of it. I don't know. So, where should I stake ADA? I mean, someone super chatted, but there's a whole bunch of pools. I don't know which pool is best. I don't run any of these pools, although people have asked me to. But I don't want to deal with that. But you know what? I'm pretty sure there are good pools to stake. I'm relatively new here. What's the meaning behind "We're all George"? It just basically means we stand together. We're all one. We're gonna stand We're going to stand together through FUD, and we're all going to stand together towards life-changing wealth. That's all it means. Pancake Bunny Binance listing. Ooh, I didn't know that. I know that, you know, they were still trying to recover from their hack, right? But Binance listing will probably help them come up in a big way. Kumi, thank you. No Limit Arcade. Who is Ray and Henry? You kind of like phrase that as if I know who they are, but I don't. But I'll give a shout out to Ray, who's having a birthday today, and he got a kidney from his brother Henry. So shout out to Henry and Ray. I didn't say I was on board with BTT. Don't put words in my mouth. XLS Labs. Let's see. Internet of Trust. Dawn of Web 3.0. To allow you a better control of your data, offers decentralized identifier that will secure your personal data and pave ways for self-sovereignty identity. Okay, so it's an ID play. I'm not really a big fan of ID plays, to be honest. A lot has come out over the years, none that's really being used. So until they can prove themselves, I'm not going to get behind it. Like Civic is one of them, and there's others. Self-key, I mean, there's so many others. Clever Wallet, Raja asked, building Clever Wallet, you know, is a Tron wallet. You know, they're trying to be deflationary. They're coming out, their blockchain. You know, I've used them before. They didn't have that many. I mean, as a universal wallet, they didn't have that much that they could store, and their swap was also limited. I mean, they're okay. Not something that I'm really fascinated with. You know, they're doing relatively well, but not something that's really mind-blowing for me. Ubex. Promising blockchain. You know, it actually is not a blockchain. It's a hybrid DAG. So it's private, public, and a lot of people asked me to look at it before, but I think there's just a little bit early and a very crowded field too. So I don't know. They could do well right now. Right now the smart contract plays. You know, they're all like the big boys, because when there's fear in the market, people gravitate towards what they know. And plus, there's good reason, because these big boys have a lot of traction, a lot of adoption, a lot of fans, a lot of loyal stakers. So these smaller ones, they're having a hard time, you know, gaining that traction they really need. What's the difference between holochain and blockchain? They're a DAG. It's just a different way that their nodes transfer data. Blockchains, for most part, is you have a block after block after block after block, and it creates a chain of information. A DAG is like you have blocks that is like a mesh network. It could go a number of different ways. So it's a little bit different. So the best way to think about it, they're all ledgers of some sort, but their structure is different. How easy is it to cash out for tax purposes? Someone's crypto grows really high. They cannot cash out because they owe taxes and the growth in real dollars. Even if you don't cash out, I think that's the biggest problem, biggest misconception. Taxable event does not mean cashing out. Any trades you do is a taxable event. You buy Bitcoin with Ethereum. You buy Binance Coin with Ethereum. You buy USDT with Binance Coin. They're all taxable events. It has nothing to do with if you cash out. The only thing that's not a taxable event is if you say buy Bitcoin and you never touch it. That's how you avoid taxes, just so you know. It has nothing to do with cashing out. And don't think that just because, you know, you're trading on the exchanges and you think that no one's ever going to know, well, these exchanges are being audited by the IRS, so it's really hard to hide. Now, if you want to trade without worrying about taxes, you may want to look at I Trust Capital, which allows you to do so with your your 401k and your IRA and a Roth IRA, right? So you can do that. But outside of that, you have no choice but to pay taxes. FTX, it's the FTX derivatives exchange. I've never used it, but it's backed by Alameda, obviously, and they're enormously huge. And it's interesting because they do have synthetic tokens that Binance started releasing. Binance released Tesla and others, but like FTX have them too. And they also have AMC one. I didn't know that, but they do have them also. Everyone forgets to talk about Helium when talking about best altcoins. Well, because I don't think it's a best altcoin. It's very good. I did a dedicated video on them, and supposedly miners can make a lot of money. But it's been around for a while, and it's not a smart contract play. It's not anywhere near the same. So FTX is a good exchange. I use it. Is it even open for U.S. residents or no? I don't even know if they're open U.S. residents. Bob says, I agree. Cosmos is very underpriced. I do think so. I mean, they really should be a lot higher than where they are. Anchor, I'm neutral. Neutral to Anchor. Thoughts on XC40 R design? You know what? Volvo R designs suck because the seats are way too narrow and way too aggressive. It doesn't matter if it's XC40, 60, 90. Skip the R design. I mean, they look great, but the seats absolutely suck. That's real talk right there. B Pro Nulls and Luxo, I think they're all still good, but they've been sold off. So now it's going to take some time for them to come back. But I covered them all before. Polycat Finance and their yield farming. I'm not into yield farming, so I can't tell you if they're good yield farming or not. But yield farming with their high interest, right? Just be careful. A lot of these BSC projects that got hacked recently, it's mostly because of yield farming and so forth. So be careful with them. Thoughts on borrowing against ETH? Favorite DeFi to do so? Tips on doing so? Keep up the good work. I don't really recommend borrowing against your crypto. I know that people think it's impossible for something to go down 30, 40, 50%, right? But it happened recently. And you're going to get margin called and you have a few days to put in more. So there's still danger to it. But I get, if you want to borrow against it, you could use it to make more money with. But still, there is interest you have to worry about. And you still have to worry about, dips. So I don't know. I don't advise anyone to do that because I feel like if you do that, you're investing more than you can afford to lose, right? But if you have to do it, there are a lot of places that does it, including Blockfi, which gives you still a good amount of interest on ETH if you happen to just deposit in. McLaren or Lambo? Lambo for sure. You know why? Because Lambo surprisingly has awesome reliability, which is why Huracans, their prices don't go down. McLarens, on the other hand, have horrible quality control issues. They break nonstop, which is why depreciation on McLarens are horrible. So always go a Lambo over McLaren. Eugene says, why is Cardano so low? I don't know. Hey, I want to pose this question because I was quite surprised by it. I created a tweet. There you go. That's me. By the way, if you guys are new to the channel, you're not familiar with this, okay, my giveaway, that's still happening. 5 ETH, 4,000 nulls. There's... it's going to be given away at the end of the year or the beginning of the next year, right? So if you haven't applied, make sure you do so. But I want to talk about this real quick. Do you use Robinhood for crypto? I expect most of you guys do not, right? Most of you guys do not because I'm thinking you're already well-versed with a lot of exchanges like KuCoin, right? Or Binance or Coinbase or Gemini. But I do feel like Robinhood is like the entry point for all newbies these days, right? Obviously, you have a lot of people that's playing stocks right now. But I have friends that just like, they're like, I don't want to deal with learning Coinbase or something. I'm already on Robinhood. I'm just going to use them for crypto too. You're very limited, but you know, most of the Dogecoin people, they're on Robinhood and stuff. But I did not expect this kind of hate. If you look at the comments, it's like people are like really hate it. But I just want to throw that out there. But I'm quite surprised that there's that much hate towards Robinhood right now. But the reason why I asked is because I may be become affiliate for Robinhood, just so you guys know. So don't be caught off guard if I start promoting Robinhood. But that doesn't change anything. Obviously, if you want to get in on a lot of the coins I talk about and the altcoins, they're not on Robinhood. They're mostly on like Binance or KuCoin and some of the other exchanges and swaps, obviously, AMMs. But I'm just surprised. What is the secret code? Well, I mean, I've been showing this one video, and you know, XRP guys really love it because it really explains what XRP is about, or Ripple is about. But you know, I don't know why it's that hard to get. It's 3 characters long, and there's only 2 projects that's being talked about in the video. So I mean, it's one or the other. So that's the secret code. I don't know why it's so hard to figure out. But I will show that awesome video once again. And I still don't know who the girls are. If you guys could help me identify who the girls are, or at least the main girl, I would love to get her to the Vegas conference. But no one has been able to identify her correctly. Is it worth selling TRX for ADA at current prices? I don't like Tron because of Justin. I don't think he has any idea of how to lead or how to integrate all these projects that he has, or how to combine them. I don't know. I just don't trust it. It could still pump. I mean, Tron could definitely still pump and go up, but I don't trust their future. I much rather hold, say, Cardano or Binance Smart Chain or Cosmos or Theta long-term over Tron. This is my opinion. Live Peer, they cannot compete. I have no idea why Grayscale decided to choose Live Peer for a trust. It made no sense. Theta is the one they should have backed. Live Peer is nowhere close, and they're still on right on top of Ethereum. They can't even scale because of that. It's just it's not even close. And you know, I feel like Grayscale made the wrong choice. How do you feel about the Emax and ETF? I don't know. And I'm not a big fan of Varsity. I feel like they're patent for counting real views. I don't think anyone complains about having real views or not. So I don't know. I don't know. All right. Anyways, guys, I think that's it. Today, Bitcoin is doing good. It's coming to 39,000, but you know, overall, this reminds me a lot like the capitulation times we had before, like back in March of 2020. Bitcoin was just like not moving for months until it did. Right now, we're kind of not moving, you know, for a while, but you know what? Once it breaks out, it's going to keep going, right? You just got to ignore the FUD. You got to stay true to the mission, which is pick up the good coins that you believe and you love, that you're investing for the long haul. Stick with them, dollar cost average, and HODL. That's it. That's really it, right? But in June, I do think Cardano, Theta, and Cosmos, they have big things coming, right? And I think they could really get pumped because of them. But besides June, there are also fantastic projects to just hold outright for long term. And there's so much more. Right now, despite the fact that a lot of altcoins are coming up, still down 20, 30, 40% from their highs, right? So there's still bargains to be had. And if you guys want one of these bad boys, okay, very exclusive, I'm one of 5 people that have one of these in the world. In the world. Not even the CEO of Blockfi has one. That's how rare it is. That's not a true statement, but it is rare. If you want one for yourself, which is the world's first Bitcoin rewards credit card, yes, credit card, not a debit card, not a prepaid card, a credit card, and you want to earn Bitcoin, with every purchase, utilize my link in the description and sign up and join the wait list. They'll start approving people next month. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good one, guys.